Hastings. I'm Tom Wright. Welcome to another In Studio. Here to talk with another candidate running for at-large City Council, incumbent candidate, Mr. Mark Vaughan. Mark, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Appreciate it.
It's great to have you. We're going to talk all about Mark's decision to run for re-election, as well as to get to know him a little bit, hear his background, his story, and get his thoughts on Hastings in general, and talk about why, give his sales pitch and why you should vote for him come November. And also find out where you can support him, follow him, get more information, that kind of thing. Mark, before we get to your decision, let's talk about the last 4 years or 3.5 years that you've been in office. Want to get that right? Tell us, how has that gone for you?
It's been a learning curve. That's what I like about it. We're always learning something new, something interesting comes about. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's the basics, but I knew I would learn stuff, but I didn't know I would be on that big of a learning curve because I had been on planning commissions before this. So,
and what would you say is like the most challenging part of, or maybe let's put it this way: what was the most surprising thing for you in the last 4 years?
I was surprised how much people ask for stuff, but how much money there's not enough to do. We want to do so much. We all do as elected officials, but we can only do so much. So really, it gets hard because we really got to start focus and get what can we do and what can we do today versus what's going to be done 5 years down the road.
Sure. Okay. Now let's talk about this big decision. You know, it's quite a commitment to be a city council member, and so making that decision, I'm sure, took a little bit of time. Tell us about your decision and how long it took.
It did. I didn't make my decision till late. It's a huge time commitment. It's hard to explain that, but people see us maybe on cable TV every other Monday. It's more than that, and I think you get out of what you put into it too. Councilmember Lori Brock's made a good point one time. It's not how much we doing on the process of it today, it's how much we think about it. When we went on a family vacation this summer, my family would tell you, enough, Dad, because I was thinking about it. Maybe we could do that here in our town, or I wouldn't have done that, or we try to find things. So it's always on our mind. So that's the commitment of the mind side of it. Yes, we have meetings, we have committee meetings. So it was a big decision because I still have kids that are in high school. I just brought one to college. It's a big family commitment thing, and my family's been supportive. But some days I feel bad. I mean, I have a meeting every night this week, 4 days, Monday through Thursday, I'm gone every night. So it's a challenge, but that's a choice that we made.
You've been on the campaign trail a couple months now since you filed. Tell us, what are you hearing from residents and business owners, or whoever you may be talking to in the community? What are you hearing from them? I'm
hearing that we got some. I mean, everybody loves the riverfront. We did great. I was part of that. I appreciate that, and I think we're going to wrap that up because we got to get on to the next part of the community. It took a lot of energy and it took a lot of financing from the city on that project. But we've been working on some new ones. We got the Vermilion Street corridor. We're really starting to hear on this 316 safety concern. MnDOT is one of our partners, and they own that road from the ice arena till all the way to Highway 61 out there by Red Wing. They're going to resurface that, but we've heard from residents that's not a safe area. It pinches down really close there, and for residents to walk or even to get across the street with your car, it's a challenge. So we're focused on that one right now. That's what I'm hearing first. But we got some developments too that people are interested in and what's happening next.
I'd like to get your general thoughts on how Hastings is going, and in particular with local government. Where do you think Hastings has been strong at in local government?
Our staff at City Hall, they're amazing. I mean, when we hear from people that they're great to work with, it's true. I mean, when we work with them, they listen to us. They work a lot of hours. But what I like is they're fair, they're consistent, they try to do what's right for the city. So I give credit to that city staff. They are really doing the day-to-day grind. Us as council members, elected officials, we're up pretty high. We're trying to set the policy, give them some goals to shoot for. Those department heads have to take that and then bring it down to their staff and energize them. They all do great work for us. We are. And I think Hastings is, some people give us an identity crisis that, oh, we're so far away from the Twin Cities. I thrive off of that. I think that's a good thing. People live here because of that, and I think we're going to keep continuing with that. Personally, I am.
And on the flip side, where do you think Hastings needs to improve the most?
We can always pursue excellence, and that's part of my campaign thing is we can always do better. I think we need to really, and it's kind of been my mantra for 3.5 years, we need to take care of what we have first before we think we need to expand into something others. We got some areas that I think just have some blight that need to, but it's going to take labor time, it's going to take money to make sure that we take care of what we have. Then we get to go do some more stuff. But Riverfront is a great example. That was in a blight situation. We put some time, energy, and money into that, and look at it thrive. So that proves it works, but we pinpointed that area and went after it. We now need to take that energy and move on to the next spot. So take care of what we got.
For those watching, many voters watching, why should they vote for you? Why should they re-elect you for another 4 years?
Well, I think I've been working hard at it. I work for all of them. I like being an at-large because I work for all. I represent them all. But I think I work for government too. I work for the City of Eagan. I've been there for almost 24 years. I used to work for the City of Hastings part-time. I work for the City of Northfield. So I've worked and followed the policy. Well, now I got elected. I get the chance to create some policy and create some vision and goals. I think cities 24/7. That's what I do. I think there's a value to that. There's some experience in there that I've felt that I think I know what staff can do because I'm a staff member, but I also know that what we can do to help lead staff a little bit. So I think experience shows it. We hear a lot of times that you know, we're not a business owner. We don't understand that. I would disagree with that. We listen very well to businesses, and we understand we're customers of them, and we're trying to help them to find a better way to make it work for everybody.
I apologize, this is out of order, but for those not familiar, I'd like to get your background, your experience.
Sure.
If you could tell us, kind of go through your resume for us, if you will.
We won't go back too far, but I think the most important part, I was born and raised here. My wife and I, Beth, we moved away for about 5 years. I got a job over at the City of Eagan. I work in Parks and Recreation. I run an ice rink and I run a water park over there. But we came back home. Eagan's a great city to work for. It's a big city, but it's not home. It's not a community. I shouldn't say it's a community. It's a big community. And that just wasn't for Beth and I. We had twin girls, and Mary was already a year and a half old. We're like, let's just go back home. And there's something when you cross the bridge or you come through that cornfield, and it's like, oh, I'm at home now. I'm at community. And that's important to me. I really appreciate that, and that's why we came back home. So we've been home for, boy, it's been almost 18 years again. We were only gone for 5 years. We both were raised here. We love the schools, our families here, and our friends. So it felt right to come back.
There you go. And for those that would like to follow you, more information or support you, where can they find you?
I think the best way, I like to communicate in person is ideal. I like to email, like a phone call. So I push everybody to my website. It's Vaughan for Hastings. When the 4 is spelled out, you'll see my contact information there. I'll be hitting the door knocking here pretty soon, but you know, it'll have all my contact info on there. So if they don't have a question at that time, please call me. I like to have coffee with people. I like to actually interact and see what they have, and I'd like to challenge them a little bit about how we can make Hastings better together. So it's not all about the city doing this. Personally, you and I are the city. You work here, I live here. We're going to do better ourselves.
Great, great. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
You bet.
And good luck on your campaign.
Appreciate it.
And for those of you, again, the website for Mark Vaughan is vaughanforhastings.com. And stay tuned. We do have interviews with other candidates, incumbent Lori Brooks, as well as our newcomer, Mr. Tom Cherney. Thank you for joining us on this in studio. We'll see you next time.